Internet. A lot of times, Survivor players do it to themselves. You know, they're weak in challenges, they make poor strategic decisions, they basically throw in the towel on day one. Happens all the time. One first boot even asked to get voted out as a way to avoid getting voted out.
I'm playing chess the best way I know how, and hopefully, I'm gonna king me.
You know, most first boots aren't what I would call robbed. I think they're justified, but every blue moon you get one where the circumstances were just unlucky, unfortunate, and they deserve better. So after thinking about it a bit, here are my top 5 most robbed first boots in Survivor. Actually, you know what? Let's start with an honorable mention because this name will get thrown around a lot and they fit into a category of first boots that'll reappear for like half this video. Let's talk about returning players who kind of got screwed over in ways that were beyond their control. Because like it or not, every returning player season involves some pre-gaming, phone calls, and texts between players before the season begins. And alliances that will go on to affect the season, especially in the first episode, get forged before they even hit the beach. Which means my honorable mention is Francesca from season 26, Caramoan, who returned after being the first boot from season 22, Redemption Island. Yeah, okay, about that. She was the first boot on 2 separate seasons, but I'm not talking about her first appearance. It's her second one where she gets put onto a tribe with her arch nemesis, Philip, who happened to turn on her and vote her out first 4 seasons prior. Are you kidding me? Of all people to get stuck on a tribe with, she gets Philip twice? Her and Andrea really can't catch a break. And so, even though Franny had a pregame alliance, Philip took control and got them to flip on her, at least enough of them, and she was booted first. And it's unfortunate these were the circumstances that put her here.
If I am voted off first a second time, I will eat this rock. It's not gonna happen.
But then we get to my number 5, and they follow a similar pattern. Just unlucky to be on a tribe with these players on day 1. I am talking about Tina Wesson from Season 8 All-Stars, who was placed on the smallest tribes ever seen at the time, just 6 players. Hopefully we never see tribes that small again, and 2 of those 5 players have it out for her on day 1. First, she gets Jenna Lewis, who just straight up wants every prior winner eradicated from the face of the earth. And then she also gets Jerry Manthe, the OG Black Widow, whom Tina ousted on their original season 6 seasons prior. You know, Tina goes from playing a strong game out in the Outback to basically having no chance with these 2 on her tribe on day 1. And then you got Rupert, the guy who's like all about the fame and the spotlight, obviously on board to take out Tina, and Rudy, the old guy who's just like down for whatever. Tina did have another winner on her tribe, Ethan, who stuck up for her and tried to help, but to have 2 serious players target you from minute 1, from before the season even began, is just tough to combat. And you know, while we're talking about the Outback, the same can be said for Australian Survivor All-Stars as well.
I think it's important we take out the 2 winners first. I don't want to see them get another $1 million. I'd just rather get rid of them at the beginning.
And I hate to say it,
It's the fun of it.
it's gonna feel great.
I just don't want you and Tina around because you're winners.
You honestly think that?
Yeah. Nobody out here wants to reward another winner. Sorry, guys. It's our game now. Get the hell off our playing field.
Can you find a scenario in your head that could include a final 2 that has a winner and a non-winner, and you want to vote for the winner?
No.
Best player may not win then, from your point of view.
Number 4 is a player where much of what I said about Tina applies to them as well. And that is Candace from the Raro tribe, or the Galong tribe on season 27, Blood vs. Water. Before the tribes hit their beaches, they were tasked with voting out 1 player right away. And in a 6-3 to 1 vote, Candace was voted out before she even said a word to anyone else. Huh. How is she not number 1? Okay, so this was another returning player tribe. The twist had returning players going against their loved ones who had never played Survivor before. So these players all sort of knew each other, including Candace, who was originally on this cast with her husband, but then at the last second was cut from the season and replaced with Hayden and Kat. Candace thought she wasn't going to be on the show after all. She wasn't going to be here on these beaches, but Then also, again, another turnaround at the very last second, days before the season was to begin. Another duo was cut. Actually, it was RC and her dad from season 25. And so Candace got the call to be on the cast after all. She didn't think that she was going to be out here, so she didn't have any pregame set up. Meanwhile, you've got Colton, Monica, and Kat, who had a trio because they all played together. And then Tyson, Jervis, Tina, and Aris all had a thing as well, only leaving Rupert, Laura, and Candace on the outs. And of the 10 votes that were cast on day one, who received 9 of them? Oh, right, Laura and Candace. And Rupert switched with his wife and then lost that first challenge at Redemption Island, so that kind of explains the returning player boot order well enough. Huh, look at that. Knowing the pregame structure kind of starts to make sense what's going on here. Candace kind of got screwed by the producers swapping her in and then out and then back into this cast at the last second. She had hoped to have a few days to ingratiate herself as any other season of Survivor would let her do, but instead, nope. Day 1 vote, she is out. She is sent to Redemption Island to compete in like half a dozen challenges where she ends up losing just shy of the halfway mark. Yeah, pretty rough going all around.
I wanted to play with you guys, but I guess feeling wasn't mutual.
Watching Candace walk off literally felt like my heart was being torn out of my chest. Like the second
Monica. Laura. This one is for Colton, just like this.
But at least Candace had Redemption Island, something that can't be said for this next player. Or shall I say, players. The third and second most robbed first boots come from season 10 Palau. It's the infamous dynamic duo, the flash in the pans, that were Jonathan and Wanda, who were eliminated on day 2 by a good old-fashioned schoolyard pick'em. Yeah, there is now a cast of 20 people on this season of Survivor, and what are the odds that you won't get picked? Hey kid, you ever fear being picked last to be on a team at school? Well, these two players faced this fear dead in the eyes and then had it fully realized when they were booted simultaneously after they weren't drafted by either tribe in a one-off twist that we will hopefully never see again. They did get a chance to mingle with the cast, at least, for a whole day, and Wanda being older and quirky and Jonathan apparently being arrogant rubbed others the wrong way, who'd have guessed? But regardless, they should have their fate decided by a vote, like every other season, not a dumb twist that nobody asked for. This is just cruel, flying them all the way out to Palau just to see this happen. They say Survivor's a bit like high school, and this might be the closest a twist has ever manifested that. And if we're talking about being robbed, they cut Wanda's send-off song that was in the broadcast episode that she sang on the boat in her final scene ever. They cut that from the episode after it aired. For that, she is number 2 and debatably number 1 if there's some loophole out there regarding royalties.
We're sitting there on a really hot day rowing the boat, and this lunatic jumps up and starts singing a song. I want to knock her off with the oar.
I've written a bunch of songs for Survivor, and I'm all about this being one big party as long as it lasts.
The immunity necklaces that you're wearing guarantee that you're going to stay in this game for at least 10 more minutes. 2 people will not be selected to be on a tribe. 2 people will get on a boat immediately and be sent home. How you feeling, Wanda?
It's been an awful long time since my heart pounded this fast.
Jonathan, how you feeling?
Just heart's beating. I'm not kind of surprised. I thought I was going to be picked.
Willard stays in the game. Jonathan is out of the game. Angie stays in the game. Tough to say, but guys, it is time for you to go. Right past me, you got a boat waiting out here.
Survivors, we're going to be the survivors. We've got the energy, and heroes we will be again. Have a good one, guys.
The number 1 most robbed Survivor player ever, for me, was never really in doubt, if only because I think they fit the bill perfectly. If you want to try to guess which first boot I'm thinking of, let me just say that they came out to play. They joined an early pact of 4 from the jump. They had a plan going into the first tribal council that would see them through to episode 2. And then they took a tumble. Possibly $1 million tumble. Because at number 1, I have the man, the myth, the legend, the very first boot in the history of the show. It's actually not a man, it's Sonia Christopher from season 1, Borneo. That's right, Sonia was working with the women to vote out Rudy, the old man on campus. She had Stacy, she had Kelly, she was supposed to have Sue, that's 4 votes, the same number that sent her home, because, would you look at that, Sue flipped. Sue flipped on the women. Why? Because Sonia proved to be a liability at the first challenge. Because it was neck and neck at the final turn, and Sonia stumbled in the water and slowed her tribe down for a second, and that moment cost them the win. And that was when Sonia lost the game. And people always focus on the when, but they never focus on the why. Why Sonia fell in the water at that point in time is because before the game began, she was given some new sandals to wear by the sponsor Reebok. Sonia put them on, and guess what? They gave her blisters on her feet. Sonia then dumped those Reebok sandals, went to a nearby shop in Malaysia, this was preseason, bought some Pumas instead, and then when she received tree mail in episode 1 and was told that the first challenge would be on the beach, she wore socks under her Puma, not Reebok sandals, to protect her blisters from the sand. And then the challenge sent her into the water where her socks got wet, the socks that were protecting her feet from the blisters she didn't anticipate having in the first place, and when she tried to keep up pace with the tribe, she stumbled. She fell. This cost her tribe the win. It cost her the game. And it all started because of some crappy sandals that gave her blisters. Reebok robbed Sonia of a second episode. And you know what? For that matter, they robbed us of a second playing of her ukulele.
Bye-bye, blues, thanks to Prozac. Bye-bye, blues, give me Paxil, then is shining. No more whining. Life is hell, but I'm swell. Bye-bye, blues.
The winner of the first Survivor competition is Sonia.
But I ain't finished playing just yet, because I am not gonna let Reebok steal this show. Oh no. If we're being truly honest here, literally honest, then the actual #1 most robbed first boot has to go to Nicole from season 7, Pearl Islands. When Rupert, the tie-dye pirate, literally stole her shoes in the premiere and sold them to a local Panamanian shopkeeper for like a pineapple or whatever. Isn't there a law against theft in Panama? Nicole was robbed.
The other team, Morgan, came up, set their stuff down next to us, and all left. If they were gonna be silly enough to put it right next to me, I'm gonna put it in my thing. All their trade goods, all the little women's shoes, the insoles, everything that I could find in theirs, I took.
Take them, you know, get anything. Whose are these?
Pirated. We are pirates. So we pirated.
And yeah, those are like the top 7 or so most robbed Survivor first boots. Not 1, not 2, not even 5, but several.
Last I checked, several means 7. Not 4.
Let me know if any of the first boots you think might make the cut. I did leave out some medevacs, not really sure if they count as being booted, but either way, thank you to my patrons for all your support. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the vid. Don't forget to boycott Reebok on your way out. I've been doing it for 24 years, and I will see you in the next one. Once I do some digging on Panamanian law, just to see where this story could go.
There was definitely a rule that you cannot steal personal items from other people, right?
Panama, under Panamanian law, you're guilty until proven innocent. So by Rupert stealing my inserts and other stuff, he's guilty. So if you, to your point, Burton, you read the rules, you cannot violate local law. If the producers honored their code and said, sorry, dude, you stole, you're out.
Because I went back and he said, I stole all their stuff. I was like, that's not legal. 100%.
Pirates pillage.
Pirates pillage.